Stop worrying, not tomorrow, not when life finally works out now, because when you try to sleep, your mind turns the dark into a courtroom. It accuses, predicts, replays, and sentences you. You lie down, but your body stays on high alert, like something is about to happen. And the cruelest part is this: most of the time nothing is happening, yet you still feel it. What if worrying and overthinking aren't signs of responsibility, but an addiction to control? The Stoics saw this more than 2,000 years ago. Emperors, soldiers, slaves, ordinary people, facing war, sickness, loss, and chaos, yet building a calm that today feels almost impossible. In this video, you're going to learn 8 ancient Stoic habits to stop worrying and stop overthinking. This isn't pretty theory, it's daily practice. And pay close attention. Habit number 8 is the one that cuts anxiety at the root, because it changes the way you live, decide, and respond. Life has always been unpredictable. In Marcus Aurelius's time, there were wars, plagues, betrayal. In our time, chaos just wears a different outfit. Bills, comparisons, unread messages, pressure, headlines, social anxiety. Most people try to control the world and lose their peace. The Stoic does the opposite, accepts reality as it is, and trains the mind to respond with strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that can hit like a lightning bolt. You have power over your mind, not outside events. If you truly understand that, you find strength. Not motivational strength, real strength. The kind that loosens your chest, the kind that helps you sleep, the kind that stops your nervous system from living like it's under attack. So breathe. You're not weak for worrying. You were trained to believe that overthinking is protection. Today you're replacing that with habits, and habits rewire your brain, slowly, deeply, until worry loses its throne. If this already hits home, type in the comments, "I choose peace, not control." Habit 1. Rehearse the worst calmly to remove the poison from fear. Have you ever suffered over something that never even happened? Of course, we all have. The mind imagines the worst-case scenario, and the body reacts as if it's real. Racing heart, tight chest, sinking stomach. Worry becomes a loop you can't pause. The Stoics had a simple, powerful tool: premeditatio malorum, premeditation of adversity. It sounds negative, but it's the opposite. It's not about scaring yourself. It's about preparing yourself. Seneca taught that the person who anticipates hardship steals its power. Here's how it works. You take anxiety by the hand and say, "Come here, we're going to look at this clearly." Before a big meeting, ask, "What's the worst realistic outcome? I get criticized. I stumble. I don't get chosen. Okay, and if that happens, how do I respond with dignity? What do I learn? What's the next step?" The goal isn't to predict everything. The goal is to remind your brain of a forgotten truth. Even on your worst day, you still have yourself. When you calmly rehearse the obstacle, it stops feeling like a monster. You might still feel nervous, but you won't be ruled by it. Try this for 2 minutes in the morning. What challenges might show up today? Who might provoke me? What could go wrong? Then end with one sentence: "I'm ready to respond with calm." You're not attracting problems, you're training stability. Habit 2. Run the control test before you feed any worry. Most suffering comes from spending energy on things that don't obey you. What people think, how someone responds, the economy, the weather, the past, the final outcome. When you try to control the uncontrollable, you build a relationship with helplessness. Epictetus gave the key to peace in one line: "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." It sounds too simple, until you use it like a blade. Because every time anxiety appears, it's trying to drag you into the wrong bucket. The test is this: is it within my control? If not, release it. If yes, act. That's it. Someone insults you. Do you control their mouth? No. Do you control your response, your boundaries, your posture? Yes. You don't get the message you hoped for. Do you control the other person's timing or mood? No. Do you control your focus, your day, what you do next? Yes. You don't get the result you wanted. Do you control the world's verdict? No. Do you control your effort, learning, and next attempt? Yes. When your mind starts spinning, pause and say, bucket 1 or bucket 2? If it's bucket 2, imagine dropping it like a stone into the ocean. Done. Then ask, what can I control right now? And do one small action. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Anxiety wants paralysis and prediction. The Stoic answers with clarity and movement. Type this in the comments. I control my actions, not the world. Habit 3. Limit your inputs to protect your mind. Be honest. How many times have you felt anxious because of something that wasn't even your life? A headline, a toxic post, a comparison, someone else's panic, a loud opinion. A huge portion of your stress is imported. You didn't create it. You consumed it. The Stoics were careful about what they allowed into the mind. Seneca warned us to keep company that elevates our character. Today, that includes people and everything you consume. You can't fill your mind with noise and expect peace. Build a gate. If something makes you reactive, insecure, furious, or hopeless, that isn't information. It's poison. Keep news to a short, intentional window. Cut the endless scrolling that hijacks your attention. Unfollow what shrinks you, and pay attention to the voices you hear daily, because the tone of your environment becomes the tone of your mind. Your mind is a garden. If you don't pull weeds, they grow by themselves. And worry needs fuel. When you cut the fuel, it weakens. Ask like a warrior, does this strengthen me or weaken me? If it weakens you, it doesn't deserve your time. Protect your mind like a temple. Comment, I protect my mind like a warrior. Habit 4. Practice daily reflection to train your mind like a soldier. A lot of anxiety comes from undigested thoughts, ignored emotions, unprocessed guilt, moments you never understood, so you shoved them down. Night arrives and the mind collects interest. The Stoics did the opposite. They reviewed the day. Seneca described how when the world went quiet, he examined everything he had done and said, not to punish himself, to educate himself. At the end of the day, ask, where was I strong? Where was I controlled by impulse? Did I live my values? What would I do differently tomorrow? This turns anxiety into learning, because when you look at your day honestly, you stop being a prisoner of unconscious patterns. You start seeing triggers, people who drain you, situations that knock you off center. And when you see a pattern, you gain choice. Do 5 minutes before bed. No phone, no noise, just you and a mirror inside. If you can, write it down. And don't humiliate yourself. Observe. You're training, not condemning. The person who reflects sleeps with clarity, and the person who sleeps with clarity wakes with direction. Your mind stops spinning when it finally has ground. Habit 5. Love your fate, not just accept it. Do you know where so much worry comes from? Resistance. You wanted it to be different. You didn't want it to end. You didn't want that news. You wanted life to follow your script. When reality refuses, you fight the fact. And fighting facts is exhausting. The Stoics had a radical practice, amor fati, love of fate. It doesn't mean you enjoy pain. It means you stop wasting life hating what has already happened. You look at the event and say, this is part of the path and I will use it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the obstacle advances the action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The problem isn't only an enemy, it's material. You didn't choose the loss, but you can choose what it produces in you. You didn't choose rejection, but you can let it teach maturity. You didn't choose the setback, but you can train patience and strategy. How to practice. When something hurts, breathe and say, amor fati. Then ask, how can this shape me? What virtue can I train here? Courage, patience, discipline, humility. When you do this, worry transforms. Fear becomes curiosity. Pain becomes direction. You stop treating fate like punishment and start treating it like training. Habit 6. Stay present so the future can't steal your today. Almost all worry lives in the wrong time. You suffer in an if that doesn't exist yet. What if I fail? What if I get sick? What if it falls apart? You live in an imagined future and forget the present is the only place you have power. Marcus Aurelius told himself to confine his attention to the present. He also wrote, don't let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you must with the same weapons of reason you have today. Look around. Right now, in this moment. You're breathing. You're here. You survived everything that already happened. The future hasn't touched you, but your mind is already bleeding in advance. Make it physical. When you notice the mind running, return to the body. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice your breath. Hear the nearest sound. Choose one simple thing and be fully in it for 10 seconds. That's you bringing your power back home. Presence isn't passivity. It's a spiritual weapon. Because anxiety can't live where reality is clear. Anxiety needs fantasy. Attention cuts fantasy. Comment, I live fully in the present. If this video is helping you, subscribe to the channel Stoic Spring. Your life will improve because you'll build the habit of protecting your inner peace and growing in maturity day by day. Habit 7. Choose voluntary discomfort so you don't fear the inevitable. Here's the paradox. One of the best ways to stop worrying about the future is to practice discomfort now. Because when you become comfortable being uncomfortable, the future stops feeling like a threat. Seneca, even though he was wealthy, practiced voluntary hardship, simple food, rough clothing, sleeping on the floor, and he asked a question that destroys anxiety. Is this what I feared? The real problem isn't discomfort. It's your fear of discomfort. If you never train, any pain feels unbearable, but if you train small hardships, you prove, I can handle it. Ways to practice without becoming extreme. A cold shower sometimes, a longer walk, waking up earlier, eating simply on certain days. Saying no to an impulse, doing the hard thing first. This isn't punishment, it's forging. Every time you do it, you build identity. I don't need comfort to be okay. And that identity weakens worry because you stop imagining the future as a monster. Storms will come, but if you've trained in the rain, you won't panic when the sky closes. Type, I get stronger through challenge. Habit 8. Align your life with virtue, not results. Here's the final strike against anxiety. Most people live chasing results, approval, status, money, control, and because none of that is guaranteed, the mind stays on high alert. Worry is the price of depending on what you don't govern. The Stoics taught something deeper. Focus on being good, not looking good. Focus on right action, not the final outcome. Epictetus said, don't demand that events happen as you wish. Wish that they happen as they do and you will go on well. That's not surrender. That's freedom. Marcus Aurelius was even sharper. If it isn't right, don't do it. If it isn't true, don't say it. When you live like this, a strange calm appears. Because even if the world rejects you, even if you lose, you know you acted with honor. And a life aligned sleeps quietly. Apply it like this. Before you act, don't ask, will this make me win? Ask, is this right? Before you risk, don't ask, what if I look foolish? Ask, will I grow no matter how it ends? When you fear judgment, ask, was I honest, courageous, disciplined, kind? If yes, you already succeeded. Virtue is the only trophy nobody can steal from you. When you stop depending on outcomes, anxiety loses its power to blackmail you. Comment, I live by virtue, not fear. Worry is a thief of peace. It enters quietly, grows loudly, and if you don't notice, it steals years of your life. But now you have the weapons. You may not control the storms, but you can train your mind to stay calm in the center of them. Remember, you're not here to be shaken by every fear. You're here to govern yourself. Let the world run, let others panic. You stay steady, simple, present. That is Stoicism. That is power. That is peace. If this helped you, like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Spring. Your life will improve because you're building the habit of protecting your inner peace and growing in maturity. And now I want to hear from you. Which of the 8 habits do you need most today? Write the number in the comments and the sentence, I choose peace.